we were on a tight schedule with the first one with Magnetic Eye, so we had to go. It's a much more business oriented label than the ones we've been with before. So we had to we got a tight schedule with them for the releases. They got their business plan set out for the year, and our release was due for September. So we finished recording in March. We got the album mastered and sent through to them with artwork, which Scott played a blind and compiled all the artwork. We got them all in time in May, so happy days. Record came out on time, and the rest, as they say, is history, man.
It's well, I'm super excited. I have Phil and Martin and Scott with me today from Psychlona. Super honored to have you guys here. You just, hey, let me do a quick intro, man. So this is S. Patrick Brooks with the Heavy Underground Farm Report. I've got Psychlona on right now, man. I've got Phil and Martin and Scott from the band. We're going to talk about some stuff going on with these guys. But the big thing that I want to talk about is you guys, had the #1 album for 2024 on the Doom charts. What was your initial reaction to that? I know you guys have been on the Doom charts before, but that's pretty awesome.
I think our initial reaction to being the #1 in the Doom charts was, surprise. One thing. But yeah, I mean, it was, it's an honour to be voted for by, people that are reviewing records, people that are fans as well. It's it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Your album is fantastic. I loved it too. On my own little list, you guys were #1 on my list too. There you guys go. Squeeze on in there. Sorry. All right. There we go, Martin. I think we're
So we've got
cool. Hey, let's do it. You guys. Man, there we go. Oh, now I want to go get my dog. All right, I won't do that though. So cool. Hey, let's do a real quick intro, starting with the dog, of course. And just in case people who are watching are not familiar with you guys individually, Phil, you guys had a lineup change for this album, and I know Martin was part of that. So if you guys just want to say who you are, say your names, and say hi. I know everybody would appreciate it.
I'm Phil. Hi.
I'm Scott. I'm drummer.
I'm Martin. Nice to meet you.
Right.
You're Sean.
I appreciate you guys. So you guys did have a lineup change before this album. Tell me, how did that affect how you wrote this album? Did you have a different process, and were new people involved, or Phil, did you take the lead, or how did that go?
Who's talking to me?
Go on, you guys, go for it.
Or whoever wants to answer the question. I don't mean to put anybody on the spot.
This thing.
Yeah. Well,
fair enough. Right on.
Martin, #1, and Dave both died in a plane crash over Africa. Possibly.
It's tragic.
No, Martin and Dave both said they didn't want to tour anymore. So we didn't want them to go. We've been together a long time. But they wanted to go, so we said, okay, that's cool. Fortunately for us, we knew Martin here.
Hello.
Martin too. Martin. Was a great guitarist and also a good friend. And also Isaac, who's not here. So we knew a couple of guys that could slot sort of straight in. The guys both took a while deciding whether they were sort of going. When they eventually decided that yes, they were going, we got Martin and Isaac straight down the rehearsal room. We got an album to record with the studio booked for this is December, by the way, last year. We had the studio booked for March, and we were 2 songs short for the album. So we got to Martin and Isaac. I've got to learn the 6 songs we've got, and we'd also got to write 2 more because it was going to be an 8-track album. We'd sort of timed it all out, But obviously the slight hiccup with Martin and Dave leaving was awkward. But these guys played a blinder, which is English for that. They did really well. They learned all music. Martin wrote a song. Isaac, who's not here, wrote a song as well. So we ended up with 8 songs, and we sort of arrived at the studio on time. We sort of knew the songs a little bit, and we just blagged it. Started on time, finished on time, and released the album on time. We were on a tight schedule with the first one with Magnetic Eye, so we had to go. It's a much more business orientated label than the ones we've been with before. So we had to, we got a tight schedule with them for the releases. They got their business plan set out for the year, and our release was due for September. So we finished recording in March. We got the album mastered and sent through to them with artwork, which Scott played a blind and compiled all the artwork. We got them all in time in May, so happy days. Record came out on time. And the rest, as they say, is history, man.
Yeah. It's so. Did you like working under those conditions where things were a little more regimented? Was that good for you?
Scott to answer.
I don't like recording. I find it really, really stressful. But this was by far the best one, I think, because we had to do it. We were on. We'd had time restrictions. It wasn't a case of like blubbing about it. We just had to knuckle down and do it. And Isaac and Martin, fresh ears to everything as well. It was great. It was a different. It felt different in the studio. I felt more relaxed. I think it's difficult because drums go in first generally, and it's you feel there's like kind of a lot of. You kind of feel there's a lot of pressure to get that all done, sorted, so everybody else can then do their stuff, and then. But no, I mean it went really, really well. There were loads of like fresh ideas coming around, and Andy Hawkins, who's our kind of engineer, producer, like 5th member. He's just armed with these ideas. He just hears stuff, and a lot of all that production. What it sounds like now. That's him.
Do you have a jazz background? Like, there's a lot of swing in your drum playing.
Yes, but not on drums. I used to play saxophone in jazz bands
That's
at school, so it may be just There's a lot of kind of listening to sort of. I've always kind of fallen into the kind of stoner, kind of grunge side of things because I've always liked the swing to it. I've been much less metal based, I think.
Yeah, I feel that too. Yeah, I love that. I love that about your band. Well, awesome. And then, Martin, So my girlfriend and I were listening to your album, and right away, the first thing she says to me is, she's like, "Man, this is why I like bands with 2 guitar players." She's like, you're getting like the awesome, rhythm section, and then you're getting like great fills, and the leads are amazing.
Thank you.
So, are you doing most of the leads? Are you guys splitting that up in any way, or is that what you what you brought to the band?
Yeah, I mean the solos, the lead solos, the fast bits, it's usually me. Obviously there's a harmonies. That's both of us doing it because we do it live too. So, that's my thing. I like the blues. I mean, I don't really have a filter musically. It can be as heavy as you like or as chilled as you like. I like to keep it eclectic, and I go through periods of sort of almost studying, different genres and subgenres and stuff like that. And I were a bass player originally, and then I switched to guitar, and I was kind of in a bit of a blues thing when I started to play more guitar, and that's just stayed with me. And as I say, it can be for me, it can be as heavy as you like, or as chilled out and relaxed as you like.
Can I just butt in there? When Martin played all those guitar solos off the cuff. None of them were sort of pre-rehearsed or anything. So I was sat there. So Andy, the producer, said, right, because we were pushed for time. We said it was all last minute. Andy said, right, Martin, put your guitar solo now into Jasmine. And Martin's like, yeah, okay. And he just said it was just off the cuff. It was.
I didn't.
It's a great solo. I love that. That's like my favorite song of the whole year. I love that song. So.
Cool. Thank you very much.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm glad you guys like it too. It's awesome. Tell me, you guys, one of the things that I really liked about the album too was you guys have a really, you guys sound huge. You have a big, room filling sound. So I'm assuming that has something to do with not just your input, but input of the mixing guy and the engineer guy. So is that something you were conscious of, making your album sound as big as it does?
Well, look at us. We're not going to make quiet music, are we?
But you do write some quiet music. That's what's interesting. So, and even your quiet music, has a lot of sonic depth to it that I really enjoy.
I mean, so actually, it's Andy, the name of Andy Hawkins, our producer, it's pretty much captured the live sound because we have that sort of big sound when we play live. It's something that we've had feedback ever since the first ever gig. People said I've got a really big sound, and we're like, oh, right. Well, not really sure the technicalities behind that, why we do, but it's just the way it works out, both live and I'd say Andy's captured the live sound in the studio because it was pretty much the same as the stuff we play live, and it was all sort of drums mic'd up, Marshall amps, cranked up with a microphone stuck in front of the speakers. There was nothing sort of sinister going on that we can't sort of, play. Otherwise, I mean, Isaac's not here, so obviously Isaac with the bass as well, he's, it was just a bass amp DI'd straight into the console, and sort of played live pretty much, There weren't a lot of extra takes, were there?
No.
So I think
drums aside.
Yeah, well, I think that's also drumming. Scott.
It sure doesn't
play each song 4 times, isn't he? So that he's got everything. He's got everything captured, and goes the best take. So Paul Scott has got to play the full album sort of 4 times. And we did that. We did that in half a day, didn't we?
Yeah.
Down there, you were a bit warm, and I was sort of doing this, So, yeah, that was fantastic. That was really good that time.
He's a good cheerleader, don't worry.
Yeah.
Right on. It's important.
I've got a sideline motivational speaking
with Phil.
Yeah. I've got no.
Why not? You should start a YouTube channel about that.
Yeah, I have no customers, unfortunately. But yeah, what was the question?
No, I do love. I love the softer ethereal guitar tones and the singing, and then it's really counterbalanced by heavy guitar work. And I listened to your album, and the one thing that kept coming back to me was post Roger Waters Pink Floyd. I was like, gosh, it sounds like in momentary lapse of reason in the best way, but I don't know if you guys even listen to that album at all, but do you have some I mean, I know there's got to be some 60s, 70s psych influence in your music, but do you guys want to speak to any kind of influence from the past or anybody that you think really is kind of put you in the direction that you make your music?
I don't think there's, I think it's fair to say all 4 of us have quite sort of different sort of bass tastes in stuff. Phil's straight up punk. I'm probably more kind of sort of alternative rock. Martin's pretty much everything, but probably a lot of 70s blues rock.
Definitely, I love the
and
60s,
Isaac's just doom.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, but I think that the common theme is that we like heavy music, but we tend not to. We like heavy. The heavy bits sound heavier because they came after the quiet bits. So we like it's the dynamics. I think we all like dynamics in songs. Having just one constant volume, it gets, especially across an album, it just gets a bit boring.
I love that. No. It was the most outstanding thing to me about your album right away, that there's a lot of albums that we see on the Doom charts and review on the Doom charts that are like metal albums, which are driving and hard, and they should be all the way through. But man, your album was different for me, and it was a really good change. And like the maturity of the songwriting and how you guys put everything together was different. And but like besides the guitar work, the vocals really struck me as being significantly different than a lot of stuff that we hear in the heavy underground music scene. They're very dreamy, and like I'll use that word ethereal for you guys a few times. But are you like using? Is that like your voice? Are you like are you using any effects, or your voice is amazing, man.
That is not something I've ever heard.
No, come on. I know that can't be true. It's like really, like it really is a game changer. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I personally, I detest hearing my own voice singing or whatever.
Imagine how we feel.
I think, yeah, probably. Which is why we always, if all thought about albums and vocals, have sort of been sat back into the mix a little bit on sort of my request. Can we make that a little bit quieter, please? But yeah, and I'm not a fan of singing.
It's
when
because the Pink Floyd comment has come up a few times in reviews, and it's really odd because I think we've had somebody say that like your voice sounded more like Dave Gilmour, and then I think some of the songs got mentioned being Pink Floyd influence, which is really weird because I don't think any of us. I mean, Martin probably.
I love Pink Floyd, but I don't recall bringing it. Whilst writing. There wasn't any of my guitar parts or anything like that.
We didn't have anything preconceived about any of the songs. Like the way the kind of writing goes is that you come out with the songs that you think that you like and that you're happy with, and whatever form they take, that's what they are. There's no kind of, we're going to do this time, or
sure.
You know what I mean? It's just it's genuine evolution of what we sound like.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome, and I know probably. From our side, the media side, we probably just have a tendency to overanalyze everything to death too. So, but yeah, I just want you guys to know I felt that in like a really complimentary way. Like, wow, this made me feel like when I was smoking weed back in the early '80s, listening to The Wall and stuff. And it's like, so I don't know. That's a compliment where I come from.
No, it was no. Thank you. It was taken as a compliment. Don't worry.
I was just starting to cry a little bit there.
Yeah. So, and I really, and the other thing I want to talk about, one more thing that I really enjoyed about your album, was the video, the Magic Carpet video, and I also thought that really, like, showed that soft versus hard, and the heavy versus more mellow, and visually comes through in that video as well. And I know there's someone who made a comment about hoping you never had to dress up like that again, but it was, as a viewer, it was super fun. And the stand-up bass was great, and so who came up with that idea, and why'd you guys fly with that?
Can I tell the story about this one?
Yeah, please do.
Right, I was on holiday. I was in Lanzarote last year in January, I think, and the holiday had been booked for quite a while. The studio was booked for 2 months later, and so Martin and Isaac had recently joined the band. So I'm sort of laid on the sunbed with a cold one by the pool, and it was a Saturday afternoon. These guys sent me a clip through. I'll listen to this one. We've been working on this song while you've been away. So I listened to it. It was a song that it was a tune that Martin had come up with, and it was the sort of the jazzy intro to which became Magic Carpet. I was laid there, thinking, this is cool. And immediately I came up with the magic carpet idea, and also thought of the doing the video in the tuxedo sort of thing, because it was that sort of like jazzy lounge, sort of smoky sort of thing. So it was this man here responsible for the song. So take over, Martin.
Yeah, I came up with that after, well, when I first joined Psychlona, I went down, we had a jam, played some of their older songs, and spent a day with them, just hanging out, see if it felt right and everything to join. And I came back, and that first day sort of brought the two parts of that song out. The 3/4. That's how I felt after spending a day with these guys. And then I thought I need to get heavy now, and I'm feeling inspired by Hendrix. The chorus riff.
Yeah.
I
love that riff.
It's Hendrix sort of inspired, I suppose, that one. And then back to the
Not
3/4.
Jimi Hendrix, it's Dave Hendrix, a bloke down a local pub. Not really, of course.
So then, I thought it needs to rock out now, based on that melody, So I just started blasting that riff at the end, on the wah-wah pedal, and
I love it.
And Scott and Isaac just jumped in with that fast pace at the end, and we just rocked out. And
I learned by the pool.
Luckily, we recorded it, because how many jams
awesome.
don't get recorded? I'm lost forever. I can't tell you. But, that one, and we recorded it, sent it to Phil on holiday, and that's what you heard.
Yeah,
it's so good. I love the Melvin shirt, by the way. I love that band. So the Melvin shirt appearance in your video was
my thank you. And the Melvin t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
It's the little details for me, man.
Yeah,
actually, and that is what I really enjoyed about your album was the attention to all the little details, and it's such a complete package. So you guys are I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I'm from the United States, so sometimes we have a lot of trouble seeing outside of our border and understand what's going on in the rest of the world and stuff. So I don't know a lot about Bradford, but you guys are in northern England.
Yep.
And I think it's like the weather, I understand, is a little bit rainy and dreary at times.
Yeah.
Do you guys think, I don't know if that's true. It could be like Florida. I don't know. I'm assuming it's probably not. But do you think that has some influence on the music that you guys chose to make, like the psychedelic kind of doomy kind of stuff? Do you think where you're from had an influence on what you sound like?
Influences the doomy thing. The doomy side.
I think it's definitely influenced it, because it's influenced us to the point where we want to make a hit album. We can make millions, and we can all move away and buy a house in Beverly Hills.
You don't want to move there.
The sunshine.
Me too, man.
Not the moment. But give it time. Let's pick somewhere else. Ibiza.
We have a French chateau. Chateau would do.
We need to live somewhere where it's warm and the sun shines. Maybe at least twice a year.
Yeah,
happy.
But I mean, the Bradford thing's weird, because it's typically it's a rock city anyway, but punk was so prominent there, and you've got bands like New Model Army that have come out of Bradford. You've got a lot of kind of much heavier metal bands that have come out of it, but it all stems back to kind of punk. So, and
that's cool.
And as we all know, stoner is just punk slowed down.
So is Bradford kind of a blue collar type working class people? Yeah. And that seems to breed the best rock and roll. I live in Denver, Colorado, but like our Midwestern region, where it's cold and people work in factories and stuff, it's like the best metal comes out of there. Why do you have any theories why that might be? Instead of people listening to I don't know, we don't people aren't really listening to a lot of happy reggae stuff necessarily in the middle of the winter in Minnesota. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I think it makes people try harder. Because
Okay.
you're limited as to what your choice of activity is. And if you want to hang around with your mates, be in a band.
Or if you want to get some,
Oh, yeah.
I have no mates.
Well, yeah, or you need friends.
I had to buy a guitar to buy some mates.
That's cool. I asked somebody from the Midwest why a very similar question. They was like, because there's not shit else to do here, man.
Yeah.
So that okay. That's awesome. You guys, I talked to the Chris Thomas experience last week, and man, they had a lot of really cool things to say about you guys in particular.
We paid.
I really dig that band. They're unique, but like they talked about how you helped them along and gave them advice and hooked them up with some shows and were just generally really cool to them. And so I have a question for you guys about that. Why is that important for you to do that to a young band like Chris Thomas?
It's so we can hear them say nice things about us. That is the only reason. We have to hate them with a passion. But on the airwaves saying, oh, those Psychlona guys are great. It's been worth it.
Yeah.
Good band, and we hear them. But,
I'm sure that's exactly what happened.
No, they're great. I really.
Yeah.
We met them in Edinburgh a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Really good band, really good people. So we invited them down. I think they played our last album launch show a couple of 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We invited them down to that, and we invited them down to a couple more shows. And it's really nice people, but they are also a really good band. I mean, if you see them, you've got to see them live to appreciate. I mean, the album's cool. You see them live.
Great.
See them live. Martin will tell you the same. We were just sort of mesmerised by Craig's guitar tone, and Craig's lost in his own world when he's playing.
Yeah.
He's shirtless, he's shoeless, sockless. He's not, he's almost naked.
And the loveliest guy. He's the loveliest man as well.
He is. He's a crazy man. He's a party animal. He's the last man standing in, on a night out with beers. It's great people.
Well, hey, I know you guys aren't as old as the Rolling Stones or anything, but I know none of us are like spring chickens anymore either. Is it important for you guys to, like, does it matter to you guys that the music lasts and moves into the next generation and there's a younger generation who's interested in playing stoner rock or underground heavy rock or whatever we call it?
Well, I've been in bands for about 30 years. You've been in bands for about...
Steady, yeah.
More than that.
5 years.
You're the same. And it's taken that long to get to this level. So as far as we're concerned, there's loads of bands that don't. So we're just enjoying it whilst it's happening. Yeah. It's one of those things, you just say yes to everything.
Yeah. Cool.
Unless it really sucks.
Yeah.
I would still say yes.
So what would make it really suck? What would you just be like, no? Too much travel. Are you guys are you interested in like having extended tours? And I know you guys are doing some stuff in the spring and you're traveling, I think, back up to Scotland. But like, are you down with like jumping back in the little van or the bus and doing a big old tour? Is that something you guys are still interested in doing?
Love it.
Yeah, that's what we
genuinely.
Do. What we do. We back in October, we sort of hired a splitter van and went off on tour with Greenleaf and Slomosa for 2 weeks around Europe, and it was the best. It
was awesome.
If you play in bands, it doesn't get much better than doing that sort of thing. We'll be doing the same this year, but with different bands. But that's a secret for now.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you turn up in cities that you've only ever heard of, and then you've got people in the front row singing your songs at you. I mean, what is not to like? Why would you not want to do that?
It's when they sing it better.
That's always good news for fans.
Crazy.
I mean, all right, selfish questions now. So I'm in the United States. Do you guys any plan? I mean, your album is like it's the biggest album last year. Like, do you guys have any? I mean, like, I'm hoping you guys like show up at a festival in the United States or do some sort of tour. Is there any chance of that happening?
There's always a chance. There's nothing booked.
Yeah. No, I mean, John Gist keeps asking us to go over to play his Vegas fest. And we'd love to, but the honest truth is that it's so expensive now for us to get across there. You know, flights, then visas. I mean, we've done 2 USA tours, but we were signed with Psycho Wax at the time. Who obviously they were Psycho Vegas, you know, money men. So they paid
Sure.
everything. They paid for flights, visas, hotels, stay as long as you want, you know, blah blah blah. We loved it, but that was they were paying for it, so it was like more enjoyable.
Sure.
We'd love to do it again. I mean, we play like, you know, when you start playing Vegas, it's about like a pinch yourself moment. And I know, but like we played like Phoenix, and we played in the Roxy in Hollywood, which was sort of like a
That's a bucket list one.
yeah. Bad Boy Killer Crew played there as well.
Yes, they did.
They did on the poster. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, I love playing. I like playing. I mean, I love playing in Europe. You know, you get in a van. Scott drives. We sit there looking out the window and drinking beer, and look at that. You know, it's just really cool when we get to a show.
Bedroom box.
Martin makes us sandwiches, so we don't have to stop as often. We've got he's like the van butler.
Yeah.
Every so often the cheese
That makes it all worth it, man. If you have
between us. Yeah.
Got the idea of this tour this year. We're not going to play music. We're just going to drive to venues and make cheese sandwiches for people.
Yeah.
So the back of the van will be full of like slabs of cheese and bread, you know.
Then Martin out with an acoustic guitar every so often.
Oh my God, there's nothing I like more than cheese sandwiches, man. I'm gonna have to come to Europe, seriously. That's awesome. You guys are like, man, it was so nice for you guys to take the time to do this. I really appreciate it, man. Was there anything that you guys have coming up or anything that you want to promote or just have a couple minutes to talk about? I mean, I'd love to just give you like the microphone for a couple minutes. You could talk about whatever you want actually, just talk about whatever you want. We'll see where it goes.
We have got things in the pipeline, but unfortunately, we can't release it just yet.
Fair enough.
That's not down to us. Just it sounds a bit sort of like, you know, whatever, but we can't release it just yet because it's all to be released by the appropriate sort of channels, you know, whether that be touring agencies or record labels. We've got to do it.
I get that.
So, you know, we've got one in a couple of weeks, haven't we? And can we say that?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, we're playing. Us and Slomosa are playing again in a couple of weeks.
Cool. In
But
Manchester.
that in Manchester, yeah. But that they asked us like 2 days ago, and that's not been sort of announced yet. So, and then we've got a bigger thing in October, which I really can't say just what it is yet. But
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. We won't talk about the big thing in October then, or the smaller thing earlier at all. We'll just pretend they're not even happening. But no, I'm super. You know what, guys? It's a super huge honor for me that you guys took the time to do this and talk to me. So thank you very much. Man, I love your band, and I hope to get to see you guys in the future. And if you guys ever want to come on again, I mean, we'll struggle through the connection issues, and you guys are just fantastic.
We made it.
yeah,
I know you guys are so awesome. I really appreciate you being so persistent. Thank you.
If this is like a video call, can you imagine what a band practice is like?
I'm sure it's just smooth sailing for sure.
And yeah, the occasional nervous breakdown.
Oh man, I can't imagine that's true at all. You guys are awesome, man. Hey, thanks a lot. I'm gonna just go ahead and end this, and if you guys could hang on for just 1 second, I'd appreciate it. So this was S. Patrick Brooks for the Heavy Underground Farm Report. Psychlona here. Phil, Ed, Martin, and Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
I
for having
appreciate
us.
it.
Awesome.
All right, you guys. Thank you very much.
Endorsement, please.
All the very best.
Then we'll go for that. All right on. Cool, man. Hang on 1 sec, guys.
See you, Sean.
Oh, hey, guys, thank you.
Yeah!